My name is Bob McBride, and I am the very proud superintendent of Lockport Township High School District 205. And I hope you will watch this video, which is a recap of our Monday, October 21st Board of Education meeting. Each month, our 7 Board of Education members, who are elected officials but serve in a completely voluntary role, meet for important discussions, considerations, and votes that impact our students, their families, our staff, community members, taxpayers, and even the future of District 205. Our meetings are always open to the public, but I hope that this video gives you remote access to how we are governing District 205, both as a Board of Education and as a district office administration. Our first agenda item last Monday evening was a celebration of student success. We honored our National Merit Commended Scholars. These are seniors who scored so well on the PSAT and MSQT test as juniors that their results put them in the top 5% of all seniors in the United States. So, congratulations to Anna Blaskowitz, Alette Ide, Thomas Ferreter, Aiden Paju, Madison Polinsky, Olivia Stojak, and Alexander Williams. After we honored those students, we moved into our next agenda item, which is a report monthly from our student government. Each month, our Board of Education listens to things from the student perspective at LTHS. And each month, 3 to 5 student government members report out to us. This month, their report included everything from the college application process to some exciting weekend events for Porter Athletics. Our next agenda item usually is a board report about our union. Mrs. Karen Cooper, who is our union president, often gives a report to our Board of Education. Mrs. Cooper did not have a report this month, but I do believe it's very important that our Board of Education takes time to listen to our union and to listen to the voice of our staff. We then moved into our third agenda item, which involves reports from board members and myself about legislative items that are taking place across Illinois. And this month, the important item we had was from board member Mrs. Luann Johnson. Ms. Johnson is our representative to the Illinois Association of School Boards, and each November, the Illinois Association of School Boards presents school boards across Illinois with resolutions that it asks those boards to either accept or reject. Ms. Johnson shared with board members the resolutions and her request that by the next Board of Education meeting, they give her feedback so in late November she can vote. Also, an important part of our agenda is public participation. And this month, we did have a member of the public speak with our board about her concerns about Resolution 1 from the Illinois Association of School Boards. This is a resolution that asks school boards to endorse the idea of training teachers, approving them through the board president and superintendent to carry firearms in schools as a matter of school safety and protection. This community member voiced great concern about any teaching personnel being armed with firearms in any school throughout Illinois and encouraged the Board of Education to reject Resolution Number 1. After public participation, we moved on to my superintendent's report. Each month, I share with the board observations and important information in our public meeting that I think that the public and the Board of Education should be aware of. This month, I shared that on October 15th and 16th, we had a very important retreat with about 50 members of our staff that was a school climate and culture retreat. We did so with an organization called Learning for a Living and their executive director, Phil Boyd. Throughout 2 days of very intense workshop, we talked sincerely and deeply about the kind of culture that we want to have in our buildings, in our schools, in our district. And I'm looking forward to continuing the work with these 50 retreat members about the climate and culture that we want to cultivate here at Lockport Township High School District 205. I also presented on a school and safety exercise that I ran through with all of the administrators in our district. In essence, what it was presenting those administrators with a scenario and asking them to consider how would they react and act if they were in a situation where they faced a real school emergency and crisis. Walking through and talking through emergencies before they happen is part of our preparation for leadership should we ever encounter a crisis. I also shared with the Board of Education that we are beginning to look at the school calendar for the 2020-2021 school year. When school will start, when we'll have winter break, when we'll have spring break, when school will end. And we're in the initial stages of drafting that calendar and ultimately bringing it to the Board of Education for approval. I updated the Board of Education on the work at our A fields, where we are improving both our baseball field, primarily improving our softball stadium and creating it, and also working on our parking lot to make the A fields usable, accessible both to our student athletes and to the public. Finally, I shared with the Board of Education that it is Principal Appreciation Month and would really like our entire public to acknowledge the great work of Principal John Green at the East Campus and his assistant principals, Matt Bartley and Dr. Jen Rebre, and Principal Carrie Green at the Central Campus and her assistant principal, Trish Sermon. All of those principals do an outstanding job leading our schools, and I couldn't be prouder of them. Also, this month is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and I've really enjoyed watching so many of our staff members and students wear blue to celebrate and acknowledge Down Syndrome Awareness Month. After my presentation, we moved into a number of action considerations regarding employment, hiring, and new staff that we are bringing on board in a number of different positions. We finally ended our Board of Education meeting with two very important presentations for information for the board to consider. The first presentation came from Mr. Anthony Kandari, who is our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. Mr. Kandari presented our present staffing levels with school nurses. We have a certified school nurse who is not only licensed as a nurse, but licensed to attend special education and 504 plan meetings. And we have one registered nurse. In essence, our certified school nurse is responsible for 2,790 students. Our registered nurse at the East Campus is responsible for 1,000 students. They are stretched thin, and our nursing staff levels do not match what is recommended by the Illinois School Board. We presented the Board of Education with a proposal to add one registered nurse so that we could have a registered nurse always in our office at the East Campus and a registered nurse always to serve students at the Central Campus. Daily, East Campus sees about 80 to 100 students, and the Central Campus sees about 25 to 30 students. We not only want to provide health services, but we want to make sure that if a student is in need and walks into the nurse's office, that a registered nurse or a certified school nurse is there to assist that student, as well as attending to all the things that our certified school nurse needs to do related to meetings, vision, hearing screenings, and medication dispensing to students. Finally, our Board of Education meeting ended with a report from me, which was on student achievement. On October 30th, 2019, our school report card will be released by the Illinois School Board. That will give us a designation and make a comment on our student performance in 2018 and 2019. I presented the Board of Education with 3 areas of student participation and achievement to consider. The first is engagement. Are our students engaged in learning at Lockport Township High School District 205? And I would answer yes. We have a high graduation rate in the 90%. We have a high attendance rate. We have freshmen who end their freshman year on track to graduate. At any given time, when I look at the data, 83% of our students are earning an A, B, or C in their classes. And our discipline is at an all-time low. Our highest infraction is for students who are on their cell phone or students who do not have an ID. And the most frequent consequence that we give to students is either a phone call home or a warning. The fact of the matter is, it is rare when we have serious discipline infractions on either of our campuses. Graduation rate, grades, attendance, and discipline all tell me that students are meeting the expectations that we have in Lockport Township High School District 205, and that gives us so much to work with. I then moved on to something I'm calling coherent instruction. The SAT is a test that all of our juniors are required to take, but they're also required to take the PSAT as a freshman and the PSAT 10 as a sophomore. That data, PSAT 8-9, PSAT 10, and SAT, really is a reflection of how coherent our instruction is from the Central Campus to the East Campus, from period 1 through 8 at Central, period 1 through 7 at East, and across 10 departments. If you're a student at LTHS, can you move from class to class and tell that all of your teachers, regardless of what subject they're teaching, are focusing in on similar skills? Those are the kind of skills that are taught and measured on the SAT. In particular, one skill, compare and contrast, is a skill that we're focusing in on this year. The good news is that our SAT data has been steady for the past 3 years, this year with an average of a score of 1038. But that's also the not so good news. We know we can improve those scores, and we also know that we can move our students above the national average, which is a 1050. And we're going to try to do that through a concerted effort across both of our campuses and with all of our departments to focus in on key skills that are measured on the SAT. Finally, I spoke to the Board of Education about rigor. And we look at rigor through advanced placement participation and through students who are earning dual credit either through Wilco or through Joliet Community College. The good news is that we have about a third of our students to a quarter of our students who are enrolled in advanced placement classes. And we have about a third to a quarter of our students who are enrolled in dual credit classes where they earn college credit even before leaving high school. The challenge that I presented to our Board of Education is, can we partner to even involve more students in earning college credit, experiencing college rigor, and experiencing career rigor even before they leave Lockport Township High School. Thank you so much for listening and watching this recap of our Board of Education meeting of October 21st, 2019. I'm very proud to serve the district, and I hope that in the future you will tune in to additional videos like this so you can understand what our Board of Education is working on monthly. Thanks so much, and go Porters.